Hello, this is Linda with Make It Now. We are going to make this card. There's a variety of ways you can do it using actual cards. Today, I'm going to use a picture of my girlfriend's son. He graduated in 2022, and I didn't have this card for some. I actually just came across it the other day, and I thought, ooh, that would make a good congratulations card. So then I found a card in my stash that says, congratulations, I'm gonna use this. So you need to have a picture or a design like this one. And you need two. So you have to have one for the back and one for the front. This, for example, is how it works. You open it, this is the front, and then this is the back, which it says, hoping this day finds you well on your way to recovery. This was a get well card. Get well soon, get well hard. Isn't that awesome? Okay, and then it fits perfectly in this little yellow envelope. Now I could probably decorate the envelope too or make another one, but again, it's up to you. So let's get started. So let's go over the supplies. You need some masking tape, some glue, an X-Acto knife, and a bone folder, and of course, your design for your card. And you want to be able to find something for the trim of your card. So you can use cardstock, or you can use cardboard or whatever. And I found this. This is a little heavy, and I like it heavy, especially because it's the framework of my project. And I think this is more of, I don't have a lot of guy colors, so this is more of a guy color, I think. I'm gonna use that. You're not gonna see this one when I'll show you how it works. So what you wanna do is you wanna make a square that fits around this perfectly. Okay, so I'm gonna take this now and I'm gonna put it on the paper. So let's put it on this paper to see how big I wanna make my frame. I actually like the size of this, so I'm not gonna cut it down at all. This one is a little bit bigger, so I do need to cut this one down on the congratulations. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut it with scissors. That, and just make sure I don't cut the wrong side, and like that. And I'm also going to cut this. If you don't like cutting with scissors, you can use a cutter. So I've got this and this. Now I take, this is going to be the trim around this picture. That's going to be the trim. So I need to make this a little bit bigger around the edge. So I kind of eyeball it. I take a look and see where I want to cut it. I grab a pencil and I mark where I want to cut it. And I do like it straight, so I will use my cutter. This way. Of course, I need to take this off too because I'm not going to use that. Make sure what I'm doing here. Okay, good. Look, perfect. And then I'll cut the other. Okay. That's going to be my front. The front cover. This is going to be cut out. This is going to be cut out, so that this picture goes through it. So I need to make 3 of these. The reason why you make 3 of these is because you're going to glue 2 together to make it reinforced. And the third one's going to go on a piece of paper, so you don't need to reinforce that one. I'm going to use this and as my template. You don't want this to be real thick because This picture is actually really thick, so you gotta play that by ear. Now, to tell you the truth, I'm only going to cut 2, and I'll tell you why. This is hard. If I was to use regular scrapbook paper, like cardstock scrapbook paper, I would want to double this up to make it thicker. But I don't need to on this. This is actually like card, so I don't need to do that. So let's make sure I cut this right. Okay. You make sure these are the same size as each other. Good, perfect. Okay, we're going to do some more cutting, but we're going to use X-Acto knife and a ruler. All right, so we have these two. This is going to go on the top here. So now we're going to make the window, and I'm going to use the other side so I don't mess up the front side. I have this grid thing on the bottom here on my table, and it's got squares so that I can actually measure. But I'm not a real good measurer, to tell you the truth, and I like to use something that is going to be as wide as I want it to be. So in this case, though, I can't find anything that's narrow enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure, because I want this to be the same as this on this side. So I'm just going to measure to there. Just make sure that whatever you do, it's the same size on both sides, okay? Now I'm going to draw a line. Like that. Do the same thing on the bottom. However you want to measure it to make the square, go for it. I like I said, I'm not a measurer. I hope that's square. We shall see. I don't know, this looks like it's down a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to take this ruler and use my X-Acto knife and cut out the square. Okay. It should pop right out. Okay. Okay, so this is what my card is going to look like. And I take this piece and I want to cut out a square as well. So what I can do, just put it behind it. And you can either draw it and cut it, or you can be brave and cut cut like I'm doing all the way on the inside of that. Make sure it stays straight. You can tape it down if you want to. This and make it nice and flat there like that. Okay, so now that's the back. So that's what it looks like this. Okay, so now what we're going to do is make the mechanisms that causes the card to open and close. So you're going to make this little thing right here. Okay, so now you have this frame, and we're going to take it and make this part that moves, this little area here. Take another piece of hard cardstock and make sure that it fills in the square. It doesn't, it kind of goes over the sides. Okay, make sure that it's a good square. You might even have it the same size, it doesn't matter, right? So now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna cut this in strips. 1.5 inches each. The bottom one won't be a 1.5 because we didn't do it all the way to the bottom, and that's okay. Just, it's gonna be fine. You see what I mean? Okay, so we do 1.5. 1.5. 1.5. And 1.5. Okay, so there's this right here. 2, 3, 4, and this little one on the bottom is 5. This, and let's make sure that goes on here like that. 2, and they just sit right on here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. All right. Well, here's the fun part. Turn this over. We're going to work on the back side of this. You're going to put this here. This is where you start using your masking tape. You want to make sure that this piece has enough area here on each side so that you can put your masking tape down. So that's probably why it's a good idea to maybe go all the way to the end. But I do this and then this. If you have to make the tape thinner, then do so. And this is where your bone folder comes in. You want to make sure that it's burnished down really well because this tape likes to lift if it's not. Make sure it's in there good. Okay. Now we take the next one, put it down, and do the same thing. Piece of tape. And tape it down like this and like this. You want to go all the way around. So like this, make sure that it's fine like that, and then just tape it up like that. So this is what this looks like. Make sure that they all open. Do some more tape, and we're gonna take the framework to it. But this time, we're gonna do something a little different. You're gonna just tape up like that on each row. You're gonna let the tape stick up. That's the hardest part. And let's see, like that. Enough. So now we flip these down like that. Like that. This. Make sure that the sticky part of the tape is sticking up like that. Then you take this next frame, face it down because you want to all look beautiful, and you line it up to the top of this but on to the side as well. Okay, make sure you got it lined up and you just tape it down. So now we have it. Here's this frame. Goes up and down. And you want to make sure that your tape is not overlapping inside, that it's all burnished down. Make sure you can use your nails if you want to make sure that the tape is stuck in there good. And okay, so that's what this looks like. It's like a shelf. Now we'll take this and cut it into 1.5 inches as well, because we want them to go exactly on that framework that I just built. 1.5. There. It's like having puzzles. Now what you do is take your glue and you want to put this first one on the top one, just like that. And now I'm going to just glue it on there. Make sure you put it right where you want it, and all the way to the front edge. Glue it in there good. Now we do the next one. And when you do this, you make sure that it's lining up. Sometimes when you use glue stick and then glue, you can move it and slide it around a little bit because of the glue stick. If you just use glue, you're pretty much stuck. So you want to be careful to make sure it goes to the front and it matches his face. I'm going to send it to my girlfriend. She's going to love this. She's going to be surprised. And the bottom as you do it. Okay, there we go. Now I do have another one on the bottom here. So if I put it here, I want to make sure that it goes in the right spot, right at the bottom there. When I open up my card, it'll be in the right spot. Let's see. Let's stick some glue on it and quickly do it because it's going to dry fast. Let's see if I can do this. Stick this in here so that his name is in there right. There. Okay. So now his card is perfect. The front of him looks good. And look, and you open it, right? Because we're going to do this side now. And this is where this comes into play. What do I have to do with this? I got to cut it 1.5 inch strips from the top. One. I'm going to cut. Let's see if that worked. Yeah, so I take this in there. Okay, there's my stuff. So now what I do is I do the backwards of it, and I just put it so that it faces up when I open it. See, just like that. So I'm going to glue this down. Congratulate. You'll see this part on the bottom. I want to cover that up too. I want to match this. Okay. I'm going to glue this. I'm going to put the glue on here because that's the back frame. And just kind of set it on there like that. And then I'll cut it so that it matches. See? Isn't that cool? So the next thing you want to do is you want to put it onto a card. I'll do it on this side. I just think I will. Now I want to make sure that when I fold this in half that it fits this card. So it does. I'm going to fold this in half. And now fold this. So then I want to make sure I make this straight. So I'm just going to cut. That's what this card's going to look like. Because I have some tape. You can see the tape here, both sides. So this is where I also open it up, and then I already covered this part down, but now I want to cover this part. I'm going to use this and then match this. I'm going to cover that tape up. Okay, so now I just want to cut the back. All right, so now when it opens, it's like this. Got that cool little strip across, and then it comes like this. Isn't that nice? And then it'll go on here like that. And all you do now is you want to stick this on here, but there's a special way of doing it. You can just glue it on if you want, but I want to cause it to be up a little bit lifted, and you use double-sided spongy type of stuff. I don't even know what it's called. But you put it across the top. Down the sides. Not on the bottom, just on the sides. Just around the frame. And then you peel this off. And you center it. So it's raised up just a little bit, kind of gives it some dimension. And to make sure it works. Oh, that looks so good. This is it. You don't have to do any more if you don't want to. So I found some stuff, some die stuff. Some things like this. But if it's a girl card, you can use little embellishments like this. Now I'm just going to embellish it. I found this in my stuff. Let's see what we can do. If there's anything in here I can use that's not funky, ridiculous. Oh look, best mate. Oh, look at that. How about anchors away, you're my anchor? I don't know about that. He's not, like, that's not really, that's not him. Seagull. So I want to glue something here like this so that when it opens, it's easy to open, okay? So I'm going to glue this down here. Now you can use hot glue or you can just use glue, but you have to make sure it sets before you can start moving it around. I'm just going to put this right here, like that. Best mate. So, you know, see what you do? You just decorate it, but then you use those little squares to lift the stuff up. So you want to make sure that it's going to fit on here. So what I do is I put these little squares down on here, like that, maybe 3. And then peel these off. These get everywhere. They're all over my floor. And then What I will do, see how it's white? If it's white, it'd be a good idea to distress income. It just pops some better. So then I just stick it like this. I don't want to mess up his face. I want his face to be seen. See how that pops up like that? It's a little better than just sitting down. So I'm going to do this as well. Get it in here. This is the only guy stuff I can find, so that's what I got to work with. Don't go out and buy a bunch of stuff. Just work with what you have. Now I'm going to do this. So I'm going to put 2 here. 1, 2. I like this one. Like that. Is this? I can pull this up. I can put something here. I can put boy oh boy here. Make sure that it fits. These are fun to make. Boy, oh boy. Okay. See? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Make it now with Linda Lang.